Hello there, beloved Ascension pioneers, and welcome to this Ascension update on the soul and oversoul. If you've seen my latest video update where I talked about the importance of moving up, stepping up in our purpose, and the importance of group, I want to have a short continuation on that note, because today I was just chilling out, relaxing in this beautiful mountain space where I was guided to go again after a while for a short hike, and I got this almost like a short but very profound inner knowing. You know, why was it so important? Because we talked a lot about the individualized soul, and I talked about this myself, and you know, the soul embodiment and this whole process of personal identification, not with the ego, with with the lower self, with our personality, but with our individualized presence in terms of our soul and how our I am can flow through our soul. So that crown, the holy crown, which it's not the same as that crown of thorns, because that's obviously the manipulation version of it, but that halo crown of our individualized presence that starts to move into our form and starts to descend into our body, into our physicality, so we can live and experience ourselves as the soul. But this only goes so far that we actually master our personal soul individuality, which is again not the same as the personification through being attached to a certain personality. Because when you live as the soul, you're going to have many aspects of yourself. You're going to be a multidimensional being. My example I can give you is I'm so multiversal and talented that I do so many things, not in order of doing them, but we all have these different aspects of ourselves that we either express or deny. So I love to express them instead of denying them. So one aspect of me is mountain goat. I go there, I climb. One aspect is I'm just sitting there meditating in my floaty elven gowns, feeling like the elven queen. And there's other aspects, aspect when I do a lot of things in terms of physically as well. And there's so many aspects. There's an aspect of me that's just a dancer, and I just dance, and I just stay in that feeling, feeling side of life and that sensuality. And all these aspects, once we master that soul identification, not the identification with our personality, but with that individualized presence through which our soul can be expressed, can express itself. And once we start to master that, when we come into that space of wholeness, of self-fulfillment, then from then on, it's always more to master. Life of mastery is not, you master something, you're a master and you're done. It's a continuation process. There's always more to master, more to experience, more to contribute, and more to expand into. So even my mastery courses, when I designed them, I made them like these 7 basic initiations that, all of us go through as Ascension pioneers, ascending souls on this path. But these are just basic, let's say, 7 chapters, 7 initiations that everybody will go through. But again, it's going to be in an individualized way. What's also important to say here is that, at a certain level, we'll feel that we've mastered something. We'll always be guided to, contemplate that, to integrate that. It's not just in order to receive, but we need to integrate as well. And then we're going to be asked to move into that space of the new. So once you really master your uniqueness of soul, you feel whole, you feel you've really stepped into your multidimensionality, what comes next is moving into your group oversoul, moving more into group. And that's why a lot of us are now, as I shared previously in my own example, are moving more into group work, because as above, so below, we are the microcosm that represents the macrocosm. So in a way, this can be felt in our work, our service is shifting, and we're becoming more galactic and more universal. And a lot of us are shifting our purpose from that individual to more galactic. So that's why our work is changing as well. And this is why I wanted to share with you. It's because once a soul really establishes itself, in order that it becomes whole, you bring all your parts, all these scattered personalities, different aspects, different fragments of the soul. When you unify them, you're going to start to move back up. But it all begins when you start to walk into your 7th density self, your angelic self, and I'm going to be talking much more on that. And my whole page, Sit Up in the Light, is dedicated to that. And as I've initiated a bit, I'm going to move into working on that aspect more, especially in the fall with the classes and courses and workshops. But it's really starting to be more important now that we feel our group effort. We feel this sense that we're more galactic, we're so connected. But we can't function on that level before we activate ourselves on that level. A lot of people want to be somewhere where they're clearly not. That's why in our path of ascension we always say, master yourself first, master your inner planes, you know, merge all your bodies, all your lower bodies as one, become whole. That's your greatest gift to the world. But once you feel you've mastered that, you won't just sit there on top of the mountain and look, you know, around yourself and get bored. You know, ascending path is never boring. You know, some people think you become a master, you sit on top of a mountain and life is boring. It's not true. Life gets so full, so rich, so expanding. I always have so much to create, and I'm sure all of you who are truly ascension pioneers in your heart and how your heart expresses itself, you are always guided to something new, and there's always a new mountain there behind the horizon, and you're just looking at it and thinking, something new to master, something new to expand into. So with this oversoul, what it means that each master, you know, that previously as they were ascended masters here, they were representatives of this embodiment, they actually stepped into their Oversoul Group, and they joined their Oversoul Group. That's what they were able to ascend. What this means is that they joined this greater group mind, which is the mind that has more ability. We have, when we plug into that mind, we have more ability to create things that are of transcendental nature. They're not personal. And I share a lot about this in my course on soul alchemy, because it teaches you how to create not just personally but through spirit, that everything you do is spirit based. It's coming from the greater self collective. Your higher self is a part of this greater group soul. So in a way, once we needed to do that. We needed to get very personal in terms of our soul so we could become our soul. We can't really merge, you know, with something greater if we don't have all of our parts, if we don't know who we are. You know, people still ask themselves, what's my purpose? Where do I belong? If you're still asking those questions, if you still don't know what you're supposed to be doing, then you're still doing that inner work. Dedicate yourselves to yourself. Be where you are. Be at presence with it. Be joyful about it. It's a process. So, you know, a lot of people want to rush from one chapter to the next without finishing what's there for them to finish. It's how it is. The spiral goes, you know, it goes round and around, and it's always leading us to what's important and beneficial for us at that time. So for those of us who really been dedicated to this inner soul embodiment, for us, there will be this broader horizon of expansion of not just group work on the higher planes, but also in the physical sense. There will be more conglomeration taking place, more joining with this group mind, so that our mind can be more the mind of the genius, not just that mind of the personal self. My needs, my wants, my desires. You know, it's very important, and I've been sharing this with all of you, to have that heart space to know your soul's desires and to live them out. But eventually you will see how your soul desires will start to make those connections, like synapses within your brain. And the cells, they're all communicating in your body all the time. They're all interconnected. So you'll see how they will start to interact with others on the planet. It might not be physical, but you will feel yourself as more expanded. You're going to feel you're having a planetary purpose and a stellar purpose, and the galactic and the universal purpose. It's just how we're going to expand back into. So the souls were experiencing through that dissension, so they could really find out about who they are when they enter into creation, so that one day they could start to move back up and join the greater group, but with the experiences that are present. So this is the ascension spiral of life that's always ever present. It never ceases to exist. It's how it is in existence. At this time you're having this human experience, but even in this lifetime it might be all that is, all that you feel right now. It might change tomorrow, next week, next month. We're growing so fast, and those of you who have consciously stepped on this ascending path, you're probably now starting to see how things are evolving for you so fast with a rapid pace. Also, I want to share something that will be more presented in a deeper note in my next mastery course, which comes out this week. It will be on our crystalline nature. I want to share that when we really master this inner soul reality, when we become soul embodied, this means that we are really our soul. You know, our soul guides us. It's how it is. It's a driving vehicle. There's no more that false separation consciousness that, you know, makes us do things that are not always just pure spirit based. So we really are aligned with the spirit And it drives us through the individuality of our soul, but then we start to want to merge with others and things that are of greater nature, greater service, greater purpose. It doesn't mean that what you've done so far, it's not great enough. It just means you've expanded, and you now, in your awareness, you are here, and you want to, move into more mastery. There's always going to be more expansion. So I want to say that on this level, you really need to know that everything becomes internal based. So I've seen some people that talk about that we need to, let's say when we talk about cleansing and protection and aura cleansing, a lot of people say you need to smudge yourself, or you need to, in a way, cleanse yourself through something that is an external thing. Even the work with the crystals, when it's based on an awareness, like crystal is something external, will do something for you, that's still, crystals are still seen as an external tools instead of something that's just like this greater universal language of how all consciousness is attuned and how all is interconnected. So when you start to realize this, you will see that you're going to work more with your own crystalline nature. So as you step into your inner soul, your angelic self, your purity is the key to everything. When you're pure in all your thoughts, words, deeds, every action, what you think, everything you think is for the greater. Nothing is just for you, because you are that higher directive coming from spirit. And this means that everything you will do will be internally based, self-cleansing, self-sustenance, self-nourishment. It will be from the self. You won't need to have a smudge stick, run it all over you so you can, you can actually get those influences out of your aura. Then you're still relying on the external things to do it for you, and you're still in a way participating in that which is external based. But when you really embrace your crystalline nature in physical embodiment, that's when you will see, wow, all the tools are within me. I simply have to think them. I simply have to give instructions. I am the master. This is all my command. My higher discerning voice speaks through me. That's all the voice of the divine. So you will start to use your internal consciousness, your crystalline core nature, to actually cleanse yourself, to purify yourself, to self-nourish, to give yourself manifestation instructions. This means that, you will see the difference when you start to kind of transcend towards the internal resources. And I will share much more with the practical exercises as well in the course. And then the next one following, the last one of the 7, of the great 7, will be on mastering polarity and twin soul consciousness. So it's like this last step of these courses that I was guided to make last year, and I began doing them this year. And then it's off to probably a short holiday, hopefully. And yeah, I just really wanted to share this with you, because if you're noticing these changes and you feel more like everything is expanding, you feel more expanded, it means that probably you've shifted so much and you're ready to embrace this now. You're ready to embrace this new chapter, and you're going to work more with consciousness, not just things from the outside. For example, when you are working with purification, if you're already pure, if you're already neutral in a sense that neutrality is the purity of divine love, then you won't have imprints from others in you, because you're never taking them in the first place. So we only need to purify when we take things that are not ours in. And you've got to start asking yourself consciously, why am I doing this? So I'm purifying myself from others and the environment and everything, so why am I taking it in? You're going to start to work more with your consciousness. And you're not going to be the only one doing it. You will be attuned to the group. And the group Oversoul is this, almost like I've said, this is this crown. And this is this crown without distortions. It's not a crown of thorns. It's a crown of your I am. And you're embracing this, and you feel your group is with you at all times. For a while now, in my weekly spirit guidance, we keep receiving these cards and galactic guidance and our galactic guides and our brothers and sisters. And we are them. We're becoming them. We're conjoining with them. And we see a lot of this conjoining partnerships in our skies as well, in our astrological influences. So it's being shown that, as much as we can also read our astrological charts on many different levels, we also function on different levels. So one level you mastered, you're going to be heading out to the next one. It never ends. So as an Ascension Pioneers, this is the most crucial thing you have to learn, the nature of constant change, and to embrace this with love, and to know when it's time to say goodbye to something of the previous cycle and move on and embrace the new one. So new adventures await. Share your experiences with me if you're so guided. I'm not going to be so frequent with my updates during the summer because I have to finish these old things so that I can move on with the new ones then again in the fall. And I'm probably taking some short breaks or holiday retreats in some mountains and, you know, prepare for bigger things like retreats and so. So I'm going to, you know, be present when I'm guided and called. As always, everything is from Spirit. Spirit will show you the right way for you as well. Just trust yourself, be in that space. And also, take a look at my Serapina Light page with the light activations, because I posted 2 new ones on the Twin Soul Reunion and embracing our angelic self, becoming our angelic human self. So stay updated, check that out if you're interested. Of course, Mastery Courses, Cosmic Convergence, as always. I need to put it out for those of you who don't yet know that this is what I offer for now. And I'll talk to you soon. And as always, so much love, wisdom, and power. And be at peace, be present, and really feel the fullness of this moment and all that it has to offer to you, to all of us. Bye-bye for now.